Hello, and my name is Shinuda, and today we will. Excuse me for my voice, I'm a little sick today. But today we will be talking about the global spread of Christianity, and from the following the previous video, this will be topic 2. Before we get started, I will go ahead and read the verse of the day. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. Hebrews 12:28-29. Now, if you want to get a context on the origin of Christianity and how it later spread, then I recommend watching my last video to get an idea of how Christianity had spread into the Roman Empire. But for today's lesson, we're just gonna start with how it spread, just to get a context in case you don't want to watch the last video. Alright, so Christianity has spread into the Roman Empire in 381 by Theodosius. In 331 AD, Emperor Constantine grants tolerance to Christians and practices their faith openly. So the emperor basically tolerated Christian beliefs, and this allowed them to spread the word of God across the empire, across different provinces, and convert many people to Christianity. And so in 381, the Emperor Theodosius solidified the main religion of the empire as Christianity. So the main religion became Christianity. But later, the empire was too large to govern, and thus it was split between the Eastern and the Western Roman empires by the year 395 AD. The East wanted to be basically Rome's successor, so it named itself the Byzantine Empire, while the West just remained the West Roman Empire. Eventually, the West fell to Germanic invasions, but the East held influence in the region. Now, the main capital of the Byzantine Empire, if we go back, the purple one on the map is the East Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire. So Constantinople was the capital, and Constant was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and it was a strategic location controlling entrance to the Black Sea. See the Black Sea? So this is the Black Sea, and any ship that wanted to enter or exit the Black Sea would have to go through Constantinople. And so the people at Constantinople could basically tax the ships coming in and out, and they would get rich off of it. It was also a center of cultural exchange, trade, and Christian converts. The Hagia Sophia, basically a church, symbolized the capital's wealth, architecture, and religion. But the empire eventually fell in the year 1453, or 15th century CE, after Ottoman Turks took the empire. Basically, empires in this region right here, Ottoman influence was growing rapid, and the Byzantine Empire was weakening, and it was fragmenting. So they lost hold of Egypt and most of the countries in the Middle East, but they still had Constantinople. However, the growing influence of the Ottoman Turks during the 15th century weakened the Byzantines, and eventually the Ottoman Turks, they went up to Constantinople and they sacked it. They basically stole it or took it, and that marked the end of the Byzantine Empire. This also influenced Christianity in the region, as Constantinople was changed to Istanbul and was now an Islamic city. Even the Hagia Sophia was formerly a church and was now turned into a mosque. But what what influenced Christianity in Europe forever was the Great Schism of Byzantine. What was it? So it was basically a disagreement between the West Catholic Roman Church. You see the orange? So the orange here is basically the Catholic Roman Church, and the blue on the east is the Orthodox Church. And they had disagreed, and eventually they split in 1054. Why is it important? Because this division created influential and lasting impacts in the continental Europe in the future. This division still lasts to modern day. So most of the Western European countries are still Catholic, just as in this map, and most of the Eastern countries, or all of them, are basically Orthodox. So you can see how impactful this really was. Now, it should also be noted that Christianity wasn't just a thing that had spread, had spread one day into the region and voila, everybody was Christian. It was basically done by 3 influential empires, also by Poland, but there will be another video regarding that. But the 3 influential empires is basically 3 empires, one in the West, one in Central Europe, and one in Eastern Europe, that had all impacted the spread of it. So first, the Christian kingdoms of the Iberian Peninsula. Basically, these were a bunch of kingdoms in this peninsula right here. Basically, modern day Spain, Portugal, but there were a bunch of kingdoms, and they had resisted Muslim control and had spread Christianity back into the region. And the Holy Roman Empire, a unification, and and the Russian Empire was basically a spread to Asia. So the Christian kingdoms of the Iberian Peninsula, these were kingdoms of the peninsula that resisted Muslim control from the Umayyad Caliphate. And basically what the Umayyad Caliphate is, it was an empire that had expanded vastly through Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and Europe through Muhammad's conquest. But after Muhammad's conquest, this empire, the biggest Muslim empire, had fallen. And these kingdoms right here had resisted Muslim control of the peninsula, so later they had pushed, and they eventually took the peninsula back, and they had brought Christianity back into the regions by kicking out all the religions, including Islam, except for Christianity, from their land. This helped solidify Christian dominance in the region even until today. That's why Spain and Portugal are Christian Catholic states today. Now, the Holy Roman Empire, this one was basically a complex unification of many of the Central European states. It was a kingdom that unified much of the states of Central Europe to promote Christianity in mid-10th century. Now, this was probably one of the most important ones, because in Central Europe, it was the land was ruled by Germanic troops, or Germans, and they really didn't have much. They weren't Christian. So this unification helped promote Christianity through Central Europe. This helped solidify Christian dominance in the region that converted many of the Germanic states to Christianity. That's why That's why most of Central Europe, or all of them, are Christian until today. Now, the Russian Empire, basically, this one was started as the Kievan Rus. This was unlike the Holy Roman Empire and the Christian kingdoms. This one was Orthodoxy. So this one spread all the way across Asia, and this helped solidify dominance of Christianity in Eastern Europe. How did it do that? Well, the empire was big, but there was this emperor in from the 17th to 18th century, and basically Peter the Great, he helped westernize Russia. What do I mean by that? It basically made it strengthened its economy, its military and land, and helped it become a major superpower in Europe. This empire later helped solidify the Christian dominance in the region as well, because it resisted Ottoman expansion into Eastern Europe. So at the time, the Ottoman Empire was really powerful, and it had goals of expanding Islam throughout Eastern Europe and the Crimean subcontinent. But because of Russia, this helped resist the expansion of the Ottoman Empire and helped solidify Christianity. And while this doesn't mean while this video didn't show how Christianity globally spread, it's because this was a key factor. This video explained how much of these Christian states would soon globally spread Christianity through Africa, Asia, and the Americas, because Spain and Portugal, they wanted to get rich. And after Christopher Columbus's discovery of the Americas, basically Spain and Portugal later spread Christianity into the Americas through colonization. So, and even today, like a lot of the basically all of the American states are South America and Central America and North America. There are Christian states because of colonization. So you can really see how the spread of Christianity was all started by these small empire states in Europe.